is hay. And I'm calling an acquired taste.
Nice.
Alaska is apparently a happening place.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No,
Oh,
I
lawless
think
land.
of just like Portugal demands from Alaska.
Yeah.
We don't really know how to start these things. We're really bad at
That's
it.
fine. I love.
I usually
Don't
start.
have a sick intro.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
Yeah.
make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh,
like
yeah,
edit some
right.
intro of me and
Yeah.
Caleb like talking and shit.
Hit that bell.
Like some whistle
Yeah.
snapping music.
Yeah.
Hey guys, today we're gonna
Yes.
That's I like that.
proverbial.
We might steal some of these ideas.
Yeah, seriously.
This will be your
Trademark.
first one.
Trademark.
Yeah, right.
We'll sponsor y'all.
All right, so Soggy, we have Soggy with us here today.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome to
Let's
the
start with you. Your name and instrument you play.
I'm Alexi. I play a guitar and I sing a little bit.
Yes, I'm Rob.
Okay.
I help out with the drums every now and again.
Can confirm. I'm Charlie and I play bass.
I'm Zach and I play guitar.
So how'd y'all get together? Who met who first?
It's complicated.
It's a long,
It's complicated.
convoluted
That's this
story.
guy.
Yeah, this is
So-
Alexi's band.
Okay.
And we're all
I
guests
guess,
on
you
the
know.
show.
It's a lie. So it started originally, like, it was the predecessor of my old punk band, Conklin. They discussed, the other members of that band I was drumming for were like, oh, you write music? We should play that music. And so there was a show where one of the members of that band couldn't make it, so we just subbed in my little mock band, called it Soggy eventually. All those guys moved to Alaska, so, you know, that was a thing. But I think before that, we got Rob,
Yeah.
because we needed a new drummer, because he was moving to Dallas, you know, and doing the big boy job stuff, you know, and so understandable. So we got Rob. Rob filled in randomly for a show. Like, I think you rehearsed like a little bit with
Yeah.
just me. Like, but
I went over to your house. We like went over shit for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and then I had to go to work.
Was his,
yeah,
was his first show that show that I booked at the Grotto? Too?
no, it was Andy's.
No.
Okay.
It was the show before that.
We're playing this random Andy show where we had shot a Jarritos commercial right before him.
nice.
Really good Mexican.
So that's
Very nice.
that's a whole nother story.
Legally,
about
he has to
Soggy.
say that.
Soggy, yeah, Jarritos is the best. Camera flavor.
But Alexia and I met our freshman year at UNT because we were
Okay.
studying music there,
Very nice.
and that's how we know each other.
And so I got him in here because needed a drummer, best drummer I know easily. And then from there, people started moving to Alaska. So Scott left first, and it was kind of a natural. It was Scott's dying wish that we have Zach in the band. He was like, "There's the only person that's doing what I'm trying to do with my sound is Zach." So,
Yeah, but remember how we met.
yeah.
And we met Charlie. Yeah.
I don't. Do we go into that?
Well, we were all, let's just say we were all in a band together before we were in this group called Bangarang.
Oh, yeah.
We're in a great group, and they're
Okay.
still around. They're
I like
coming
the
back
name.
soon.
I like the name.
Yeah.
I think this is the 8th, like
Iteration.
Yeah, generation of
Yeah.
Bangarang that's about to happen.
Yeah, but we were all in Bangarang together, and we met there, and then we ended up realizing, oh, we work really well together. We
Yeah.
should probably do something together, and it just kind of like
kind of naturally
fell into that lineup, I
Well,
guess.
people started leaving for Alaska
Yeah.
suddenly.
Yeah, right.
So we got Zach, and then Sean was the last one to move to Alaska, and
Yeah.
then we naturally Charlie was like, "Hey, I'll sub for a couple shows."
I was
And then-
well informed on Sean, the previous bass player, leaving because I also help out with Barthwave Records based out of Dallas and
Okay,
had
very
signed
nice.
Soggy
Sorry
to the
for
label like
last record,
as
yeah.
as the main person that was like, hey, we should like put out their music, like they're a really great group. So like when I found out the bass player was leaving, I was like, I'll just play bass in the band too, because then they can't leave Barthwave. Ball and chain, man. But yeah, it worked out, and at first I definitely like was offering to just like fill in case they found someone who worked out better. But
Okay, nice.
so far they keep me, and that's cool. Occasionally they feed me, and that's even better.
Sometimes.
So one by one, they just started moving to Alaska. I don't like.
So
Scott and Sean are really close.
they've never lived more than like I think it's like 3 blocks away from each other in the
Oh, wow.
past like 7 years or some shit like that.
Oh,
They're like close friends,
close,
and
yeah.
Scott was moving to Alaska with his wife. She had gotten a really cool opportunity out there via AmeriCorps, and so yeah, he followed in with her because he was just like, oh, I'll find something, you know. And then after a while, the distance between
Oh god.
Sean and Scott grew, and it was rough. And so I was like, I'll just go get my master's in Alaska.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
It's cool.
Yeah,
They have a
yeah.
new group out there. I'm gonna go play with the old lineup, out there in a couple of weeks. Like,
Nice.
Alaska is apparently a happening place.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I
Lawless
think
land.
it was just like Portugal the man's from Alaska.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's wrong. I just assumed that they were somewhere in Portugal.
Shut up.
Literally from Portugal.
Alaska the man just didn't sound right.
Alaska's the man. Yeah, they had to go
That
Portugal.
sounds tough. Though. Alaska the man.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it sounds like a TV
Personifying
series or
Alaska's
something.
fucking man.
That's a beefy man.
Yeah.
So how many albums do you guys have, or EPs?
We have 2 EPs. We have our self-titled that came out in 2016, I think. And then we have Passion Aggressive, which came out sometime
year.
beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd y'all record those? What was that like?
So we recorded both with Michael Briggs, right?
No, the first one was with Evan, right?
That was the last Conklin record that was recorded.
Oh, gotcha.
But, yeah, they were both with Michael Briggs at Civil Audio in Denton.
Okay.
The local,
Cool guy.
the
Really
local
great guy.
genius.
He's
yeah.
legendary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael Briggs.
Yeah, with so many great guys just around the local scene. So
Yeah, that's
it was a no-brainer. And he's the
Everybody.
nicest person in the world. Also, that
Very cool.
definitely helps.
You guys have plans for future EP at the moment, or album?
Yeah. We're trying to flush it out right now. It's
Get in there.
it's
right.
getting there. We got some songs, and some concepts. Like,
We'll be playing a new song that may or may not be released on an album or just kind of on its own. We haven't decided that yet. But yeah, there's one song we'll be playing that
brand new.
is brand new.
Yeah. It's a slowly but surely thing.
Yes.
That's very nice. You think you'll go back to Civil Audio?
Well, that's what we've been debating. Is we got Zach in the band now, and Zach recorded the last Ray Clone album all by his dangest.
All by my dang self.
Yeah, which is also his project. So like, it's especially
Very
hard
nice.
to like record and critique your own work.
Right.
And it sounds amazing.
But at the same time, you have so much more like control. Which is
Yes.
crazy. Take your time. You're not
Yes.
worried about. I mean, also the financial situation is always a factor. But
That was the big thing, is because like my other band's Rayclin's a shoegaze band, so it's like I didn't know, like I couldn't explain to people how it's supposed to sound. I was just
Right.
like, I know what it's
For
supposed to sound
sure.
like, so I'm just gonna record it myself. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's in my mind.
Yeah,
It's in my mind.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so true, man. It's so true. It's better than dealing, with like email if you can't like be there while they're mixing or something too. Like it's so hard to get it across. You start doing timestamps. Okay, at 15 seconds, the
Yeah.
guitar needs. It's just like
Got all
So,
these
yeah.
memos. Like,
exactly, man.
And even when it went into mastering, like that was a whole
Yeah.
process, because I can't
Oh, wow.
master because I don't know. Like,
and that's where like,
Gotcha.
the whole
Yeah,
Civil
yeah.
Audio like relationship will probably still play.
Right,
I mean, also
exactly.
he's your neighbor. Like,
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that helps out.
Yeah.
Neighbor, hey, how's it going?
He's 2 blocks down from me, so I just walk over to his house all the time.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Michael
Man.
Briggs will
Yeah.
have some sort of credit for the next album.
Yeah, probably.
Even if he does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Just put his name in there somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll
Just
have
in
him,
spirit.
We'll have him hit a synth pad once just to like say that he contributed.
Well,
Yeah,
play
right.
Theremin.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually.
There
You put
Well,
synth pad, they don't know how much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, man, the whole album he was
You
playing
played synth pad, yeah.
Literally, it's buried in the mix. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just one chord, and it's not even in key.
Um, What would you say is your biggest influences for this project?
That's hard. That's a lot of stuff.
Or anyone's, inspired.
I mean, I think the biggest stuff for, especially like the early writing stuff, is I was getting really into like older emo shit, emo revival. Good old Captain Jazz was definitely the big thing when I first started writing for this group. Sunny Day Real Estate, just a lot of real basic emo groups and stuff. but like continuing on, I get a lot of influence from like Simple Z guitars, a lot of more modern and like different artists.
We listened to the Desaparecidos together
Yeah.
a couple times, and that's like Connor Overs from Bright Eyes, like
Oh,
heavier
exactly.
project.
Okay.
And that's something that like I don't even know if we'll like take much influence from, but like Alexi and I, when we listened to it together, was just like, that's
you
cool.
feel it.
That's
Yeah.
cool vibes. Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
Cursive.
Maybe there's
Cursive
something there.
for sure.
Cursive
I always
thing,
forget
yeah.
about cursive.
Okay.
Anything. What's his name actually?
Tim Casher.
Tim Casher.
Yeah,
I almost said Tim Heidecker.
he.
That's not accurate. Tim Heidecker's solo albums are really good also.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Does he?
Yeah,
He definitely does
does.
What about you, Rob?
My influences for this band. I'm not like the biggest rock person, to be quite honest. Although getting into music, I did play only rock.
Yeah.
But you know, as you know, a musician here or there does, they kind of evolve into whatever they don't even know.
Yeah.
Did I know I would be playing in a punk emo band with some of my classmates in college? Like,
Yeah.
not at all.
Not at all.
Like, not at all. So, my biggest influence is just to try to like jump into something you don't know. I don't know. Like,
Very cool.
I can't say that I know a lot of the scene as it is, but yeah, that's like my biggest influence. Mars Volta, I love Mars Volta.
Yeah.
I try to like fucking push it as much as
Yeah.
I can and not
Really push it.
not try
Yeah,
to
definitely.
make anyone go to sleep,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So, anything just crazy though. I don't know, like anything that is not anything that's not put together. Like
Yeah,
anything
okay.
with two things that don't really go together. I'm just
Gotcha.
like, yeah,
I feel like,
Yeah,
I feel like
I like that.
sometimes you reach almost like Zach Hill vibes with your.
Yeah?
Yeah.
you think so?
Yeah.
That's a fucking compliment. man.
Absolutely.
But-
No, I fucking, as someone who plays drums in most other
Yeah.
bands, man, I get intimidated by
Yeah.
you sometimes.
Dude, and that's the biggest thing is we all play in other groups. Like this
Yeah,
is
Sound
cool.
completely
this
different.
the reason why it's taken so long to even write is we all have a hand in different projects. And, as you guys
That's awesome.
probably do yourselves,
Yeah,
we're all
for
doing
sure.
just a number of things. So whatever any of us can bring from that project into here, most of the time we're just like,
Yeah.
just fucking do it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
that's the biggest inspiration for me, personally.
Very cool.
I think it shows. I think that's a part of our
Yeah.
sound. That's like, especially now, not even our recorded sound, but just our live sound is like this very large mesh of things that come from. Like you have a very heavily like jazz, like neo soul,
Yeah.
like background and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like punk as hell. And
This is
then,
also the
and then
first time I've
shoegaze
played
guy
bass in,
with
like-
like the biggest surfboard of pedal boards like, in
Yeah.
the world. Like, it's this very odd, conglomerate of people.
That's awesome.
But nothing.
But it works. It's not out of place.
Yeah. And nothing goes together more than arguably Charlie, because Charlie does it. Charlie does it all. He plays. tell him, Charlie.
I
fucking do it.
play a lot of instruments in a lot of bands, and this is the like first band I've played bass in like 10 to 12 years, so it's also just like
Nice,
really
yeah.
fun to hop back on that.
Oh,
And like
yes.
I've gotten a lot of compliments, so I'm just like I don't know.
Just
I get
gotta
really
keep going
bashful
with
about
it,
this
yeah.
project.
He's all right.
It's fun, yeah.
He's okay.
He's okay. He's
Fucking
he's
modest
okay.
right now. No, but yeah. I mean, Charlie fucking plays what, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, or springtime?
Yeah. I've got a project I play guitar in as well, and it's like I kind of play rhythm because I've got a guy named Drew Key from Denton area playing lead for me, and he's got like a metal background, and Springtime's definitely like a kind of like twinkly emo project. So like when he first started playing with me, every lick he played, I was like, "That's awesome." Play like half of those notes, and it'll be like perfect what we need. So
That's great.
so he's like if anything like I only know guitar players that are just like too talented at what they do. So like I am also very humbled in that project because I've predominantly played drums and getting to kind of like expand and play different instruments and projects is definitely like really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Zach, you want to talk about some of your Guitar influences.
Oh
Especially
man,
what you bring to the
I'm the
table
dad of the band. I like my favorite group of all time is Pink Floyd. I love Pink Floyd, and David Gilmour is a huge influence on my playing. Like I always like just the big soaring notes, just like kind of hang in the air, that type of thing. Also, I love Prince.
Yeah.
Huge Prince fan.
Prince is great.
We've watched Purple Rain multiple times already together. I think.
Really? That's amazing.
We've at least watched it once
timeless.
together.
I think we did
I
watch it
think
once.
I think we've watched it multiple times, and if not, then what are you doing later? 'Cause I'll
yes.
watch it.
We can watch. I have it on VHS.
I've got it on.
Nice.
We can watch it on VHS and DVD at the same time.
I'm gonna I'll find a laser disc of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it's mostly that. I mean, other than that, I don't. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. Tears for Fears is a big one.
Okay.
That guitar playing is just. He's so good. But I mean, I listen to a lot of new wave stuff and a lot of '80s and just '70s stuff. Like I don't know. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of modern stuff I draw influence from, but I'll listen to it every once in a while.
I mean, it's sure there's so much coming in and coming out. You can get.
Oh, the music scene now is completely oversaturated.
It's insane. Like this band from Thailand. Like what?
Yeah.
You ever talk
Like,
about
what?
subgenres? I hate talking about
Subgenres. Apparently you gotta nail them.
Conversation.
Someone asked me what type of music upsetting was, and I just
Go home.
wanted to ask them to leave me alone.
That one's really obvious too.
Kind of. I don't know. But then you get nitpicky.
But then you got your umbrella terms, and you got to fit into a niche market. 'Cause that's what it's all about.
You gotta figure out the branch of the tree.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. Yeah.
You can't peg it on anything these days.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
But everyone wants you to.
But
Like,
you
what
have
are
to.
you?
Yeah, because then
You're not
otherwise you
bad.
won't be associated with the right people. You won't have an audience. Like, it's a
Yeah.
whole weird thing.
That's crazy.
It makes me mad.
It's branding, as the execs say.
I know, but it affects how people listen to music also, because they won't attend a random show or be open-minded about anything with a certain label, because it doesn't fit with their, likable labels and stuff. It's completely changed music for the better and the worse, but.
I like it when the bigger bands have a different sounding band on their bill. They have touring with them or something.
It's
Just
weird.
something that you
It's
wouldn't
weird.
expect to be
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I saw Blink-182 and Taking Back Sunday tour with Cypress Hill.
Hell,
When
yeah.
I was in high school, and I was just like,
That's crazy.
wow, yeah. And the Lil Wayne Blink-182 tour
Yeah.
that's about to happen, like
That's wild.
you,
That feels
like,
right, though.
yeah,
That does feel
I feel
right.
weird. I feel weird about both those artists as far as like passing their prime in their career, but I still think that's gonna be like a fucking rad.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude,
Yeah, like,
definitely.
They'll have a
They're
great
playing
time, and that's
casinos
what
now and
matters
stuff.
most.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's a weird time to live in.
Yeah, right.
Good stuff like that. What's y'all's favorite show you've ever played?
In this lineup, we played with Hikes from Austin, which was a pretty great show. That was also just like pretty well put together. Ours was the only set that rained,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
and it was during like our second to last song, so we didn't play the closing song. But we also like it started raining, and like mid song, I like stopped playing for 2 seconds, and then everyone else in the band just kept going. So I was like, okay, like, I just picked it right back up, and we finished the song, which was cool because it was like misting just enough, like it was slightly defiant, but our gear ended up being okay because I like the bar, and I've talked to that bar before. They've got like an outdoor stage, but when it's like bad weather, they can do shows inside, and sometimes they should just plan on doing that and don't, because they're super proud of that like outdoor stage, and I get it because it is easily the best stage in Denton. But yeah, so like it was one of those scenarios where we didn't play our last song, and like I may be roommates with the venue manager there, so like I just go home and I'm like, fucking told you. But it was a great time. Like we still had an incredible set, and that was like I think one of the like
Yeah.
tightest shows we played.
Did Junior Clooney also play that?
Yes.
Yeah, Junior
Junior
Clooney
Clooney
from
was
I think they're
wrecked
from
that.
Minnesota.
That whole bill was.
Yeah, man, they were so
nuts.
good.
Yeah, they're from up north, but yeah,
That was a good show. That was a
Hikes and
great
Junior
show.
Clooney like went on a tour together, and I think this was like the last
That
show on
was a
their
2-night
run.
show.
Oh,
Also.
wow.
Two Nights played that show from Denton, Texas as well. They're like a crazy two-piece that sounds like much more than two people on a stage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an incredible lineup. I got to play drums in a band that I don't normally play drums in. That was like a whole the whole thing. I played half of the set on drums. There's a drummer friend of mine who like knew some of that band's songs too, so both of us like filled in
That's
50% for this like guy that couldn't make it. Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
what happens when you're talented. More
Yeah.
talented than everybody else. Dude.
No,
Do whatever
man.
the fuck you
Yeah, right.
It's also
They
just
pretty
nice
good.
being friends with a lot of people in the community because it's hard talking to someone and be like, hey, do you want to play drums? But like half the time, and then hand the drumsticks to me, and I'll play the other. Like you gotta have like a really close friendship with
Yeah,
someone
right.
to split a set with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
no,
kind of
I'm
unheard
gonna
of.
play it
Split a
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm gonna play it all, man.
That was a dope show, though.
It was.
That's my favorite show too. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good
The only one
vibes,
I'd
good
like put as like a runner-up or at same par is like the Sad Cop show we played, the house show at House of God,
Oh yeah.
where people. Were
I guess
just
I technically played that
ridiculously-
game.
Yeah, because you
Played that set.
Like,
Zach wasn't playing yet though.
I don't remember playing that.
Yeah,
Was it
that was when Scott. That was like
That
when
was still
Scott's
with
last
Scott?
shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scotch, yeah.
Was that one?
Interesting.
The Tommy thing?
No.
Was that Tommy?
That was
Are you the only one
two-story
that played that
house.
set?
What's that?
I think you are.
No.
I think you are.
It was Rob. Okay.
I don't remember.
I also really like their EP release. That was a good show.
Which one?
The
I
EP.
danced.
Oh, the
That
EP.
dance
Yeah.
was that was a fun.
That was
one.
cool.
That's a great video too.
That was the last time I got to see Clark Kent.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or
No.
Stuff.
They played
that was the last time I
Bark Wave
saw
on Bell.
them. Did we?
the first Bark Wave on Bell
Yes.
in August. They played that set as well.
Yes.
What fucking show?
Yeah, right.
Well, what's your favorite show you've ever seen, touring like nationally or local?
Let's start on this side.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Like there's a lot of like great touring acts that I've seen and national acts that I've seen. Like I saw Slow Dive not that long ago, and
Oh, yeah.
Slow Dive is fucking amazing. Like, but my favorite show I think I ever had like the most fun at was there used to be this local cover band called Weedzer that they would cover Weezer songs just from like the Blue Album in Pinkerton, and it was at Gatsby's, which is a now defunct house venue in Denton, and it's the only time at a house show that I've seen multiple people crowd surf.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it was also the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life, and that's really saying
Nice.
something because
That is awesome.
I used to play it really loud.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I
that
would
was
love to play it really loud.
me too.
We turn our heads to that. This
This
is
is a hard question. Man.
Yeah,
It's
I've
not-
seen a lot of like great big shows, and I think like my favorite one of those. I don't know. I saw Man play Mohawk one time,
Ooh.
and they actually, yeah, I think that was one of my favorite shows, just because Man's like ridiculous. They are thinking outside the box, like doing very original work, but also just writing these like really catchy tunes.
But also their crowd, like their whole audience, like it's like they're one of the few audiences that they're getting older now, unfortunately. But like they go crazy
They
for
get
Man.
into
Man
it,
is,
yeah. But I think my hands down favorite show that I go to and continue to get to go to every year, fortunately, is a like little local festival called Novemberfest that's put on by an artist, Andrew Kendall. He's like a brilliant like designer, does like a lot of screen printing, but he also does like a lot of painting and stuff out of his like studio like just west of Fort Worth. And like every year the weekend following, like immediately following Thanksgiving, he just invites like all the friends out, books all of his favorite like DFW local bands, and it's just like a weekend to get away with your like music and art family.
That's cool.
Definitely like one of the safest spaces I've ever just like seen that kind of like co-op festival type
Yeah.
environment pulled off,
That's
and it's literally like my recharge experience every year.
That's awesome.
Do a lot of crying at those shows.
Yeah.
Like good crying.
Yeah, right.
My favorite show that I can remember off the top of my head, and this will probably like change later though too. Was the first show I ever went to. I was like maybe in eighth grade. There's this band from New York that like one of my eighth grade buddies who was the only person that I played music with at that time. Um, like turned me on to is like this band named Ours. They come to Dallas like maybe once every year. I don't even think they do it anymore. But it was this like surreal. Like for me personally, that was like the most real, intense like show I've ever seen because it's the first show you ever went to, or I ever went to. I'd never heard music so fucking loud.
So,
And I was like, Jesus, like, and I got to meet the band Hours, though. They're on, I'm sure many platforms, but kind of like a Muse as kind of sounding band. Actually, the lead singer sounds a lot like the Muse lead singer.
Okay.
But yeah, that band is
Very nice.
still puttering around. I need to see it. Yeah, that was my favorite show for sure.
I got to see Moaning recently.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy.
Favorite.
They were on the way to go open up for the Breeders, like at ACO, I'm pretty sure. And they just stopped in Denton and played this dirty pizza joint called J&J's.
In the basement.
Yeah, and
Which
they
is
played
not even
for
a thing in
15
Texas,
people.
but-
Like, they
Right.
played, it was like me and like 10 other people. Like it was the smallest audience
Wow.
for this band that was insane, and they loved it because they've been playing like huge shows because they're a sub pop band and everything. They've been killing it for a while, but they were like really happy because like they got to play this really small, intimate show. And again, the most energy for such like a tight band. Like,
They got to play with Sub-Sahara that night too, which like
Nice.
great
Which is
great
fantastic.
local band,
Yeah.
and since there were not many people, like they really got to hang with those dudes.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like I don't like seeing like a band once they're too big because I don't want to go to a stadium to watch a show.
Yeah.
I'm always my favorite shows are always like I'll see them one year and then the next year they play this bigger venue. And I'm like, I kind of liked it last year when we were at that
Exactly,
smaller
yeah.
place.
Everybody wants to see
It,
a group play in a house.
Yeah,
Like, that was
right.
my other one. As I got to see Milo play in a house show. This rappers in Wisconsin. That was insane. But yeah, it'd be different if I was like. If he was on stage, if he was above me, if it's on a different level, like I'd still appreciate it, but the experience would be entirely different.
It's just different, yeah. It's
It's more
So
intimate.
keep your ear to the ground about artists before they blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know.
yeah, that's
Support local music.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You guys have any shows coming up?
Yeah,
Tour?
June
11th.
June 11th.
June 11th.
Yeah.
because I leave on the 12th.
I also
Nice.
leave on the 12th.
We all leave
Yeah,
on the 12th.
June 11th we're playing
Y'all
at
going?
Backyard on Bell in Denton.
Very nice.
Who's the touring band that
Shadow Year.
Yeah, Shadow Year's
Shadow
playing on that show. That's kind of how we set it up. Is they hit up Alexi about wanting to
Heavy
get a show
Pulp is
together.
on there, right?
Yeah, Heavy Pulp is playing that
Oh,
show,
shit.
which is Bailey from Pearl Earl and Alex Gillen, who played in like he plays a monogamizer, but they don't play that often anymore. He's like really into like heavier like metal shit, and he got his degree playing like performance classical guitar, so he's well rounded, and it's
That's
just
amazing.
him playing guitar and singing, and Bailey playing drums and singing, and it's like an incredibly heavy experience for just like a two-piece like power
That's
couple.
amazing.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
they're on the show as well.
I like that.
Yeah, and then
Too,
like we're playing that show, and then the next day I play my tour kickoff show with Upsetting at Three Links, and we're going on the West
Sweet.
Coast for 2.5 weeks.
Dude, very
This
nice.
is not the first time I've played. Yeah, plug. But yeah, this is also not the first time I've like played a show with a different band the night before I'm supposed to leave on a tour with like Upsetting. And
That's crazy.
I'd like to say I'll
That's
stop
funny.
doing that, but I probably won't ever
Probably
stop
will.
doing
Yeah.
that shit. Yeah.
gotta leave for tour. Better
Better-
get a show.
Better get
Yeah.
one more in with these
Gotta
guys.
get one more the night
Yeah.
before. Kick it off right.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. This is
Absolutely.
awesome.
Thank
Still
you,
gonna play
man.
some songs for us.
Absolutely.
Social media, just Soggy, Instagram,
Very, very
Facebook.
soggy Texas.
Soggy band.
You'll find us.
So
It's
yeah,
the one
very
that's
nice.
like.
We're the
wet.
only Soggy from Denton,
That's like
Texas so
good.
far. So like, as
Yeah.
long as you throw
Not
Denton,
the
Texas in
French
there.
It's not to be confused
Yeah,
with the
the French.
70s French metal band. That is a thing, and if you look us up on iTunes, you're probably going to end up listening to them as well.
That's awesome.
Watch out.
Spotify, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, LinkedIn, whatever.
LinkedIn, okay, getting
LinkedIn.
professional.
I'm
here.
really trying to get my LinkedIn together. I really need somebody to like come and validate me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Hire us for
Connect
your
with
corporate
me.
event.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Felt cute. Might delete my LinkedIn later.
We'll play the 5-year company party.
There you go.
No questions asked. We've got
We're
affordable
available.
rates.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Alright.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
definitely,
guys.
definitely.
This was
What a cool
awesome.
space
Absolutely.
also. I love
Thank
this
you,
hall.
thank
Perfect
you.
timing. I've got to
Yeah,
pee
yeah, yeah.
so bad.
That's perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks.